Hi, we're a little bit late today due to some, imagine this, technical difficulties from the Bandit CrossFit nutrition coaches. Dina is here in person, but we cannot hear her. So you're just going to have to listen to me talk at you for the next however long this takes. And I can't, there's always so many boxes in a Zoom call, and I don't know what to do with them all. Anyhow, we're going to get started because we're already late. I feel really short today. Yeah, Dina will comment in the chat and she's going to control our chat box, and she's going to try to pay attention to if people are trying to join us. So my name is Jennifer, and the silent girl, and we even matched shirts today, and we're not even in the same place. Didn't see each other, didn't talk to each other today, but same shirts. Dina's looks brighter than mine, but she also has better lighting. My little light is not helpful today. But I'm Jennifer, and this is Dina, and we are super excited that you are here today so that we can talk about some healthy swaps for your favorite comfort foods. Wouldn't you know, I set up some kind of different Canvas scrolling system today. Bandit CrossFit, we are partnered with Healthy Steps Nutrition to support all of our clients using a framework that's guided, tested, and proven. And we also believe that something as fundamental as nutrition shouldn't be complicated, which is why we focus on a simple habit-based approach. But we also know that helping you become the best and healthiest version of yourself isn't just about what you eat or going to the gym a few times or a few hours a week. We have to focus on a holistic approach addressing our nutrition, our lifestyle, our stress management, our sleep, our exercise, and a support system. This is different. Healthy Steps Nutrition has helped over 45,000 people all around the world take control of their health. Here are just a couple of their success stories. Are you looking to create your own success story? We know that while it is simple, it is still very far from easy. We know that restriction is one surefire way to set yourself up for failure. When we work with our clients to achieve their goals, we work on finding small, sustainable changes that they can do for long-term success. Reflect on the last time that you decided to try to lose weight by starting a diet. What did that look like? Was one of your early considerations cutting something out of your day, like sugar or carbs or alcohol? Now, think about how long you stuck with it and the kind of thoughts that you had during that time. Did it sound like an intense desire for something and doing your best to stay strong? Did that thing that you were staying away from become the one thing that you thought about all throughout the day? And what if I told you that it wasn't your lack of strength, but more so the fact that you were not set up for success by the standard structure of a diet, that whole cutting something out of your normal day and routine? Research suggests that roughly 80% of people who lose a significant amount or a significant portion of their body fat will not maintain that loss over 12 months. According to one analysis of intervention studies, dieters regained more than half of what they lost within just 2 years. The culprit for gaining back that weight is a lack of consistency with the necessary habits to keep the weight off. It's not necessarily what you're eating, it's the habits. It's no surprise we have known for a while that it's hard to lose weight, but it's even harder to keep it off. Very true story. So why does this happen? Some psychologists suggest that it's a phenomenon called psychological reactance. To keep it simple, when we are told we can't have something, we subconsciously feel our right or freedom has been taken away, which causes us to retaliate by thinking about it or wanting it more. If you have ever had a toddler in your house, you know exactly what I'm talking about. When you take something away, that's all they want, and they pitch a fit and throw a fit until they get it back. Which is why, in order to find long-term success, we must first think about what we can add to our day rather than what we can take away from it. So today we're going to dive into healthy swaps for your favorite comfort foods so you feel less restricted and more balanced. Oh, everybody's favorite, the number one food that people want to cut out. We sit down with these people and we ask them, and we ask our clients, like, What are some things that you've tried in the past to lose weight? Like what has worked and what has not worked? What do people always tell us? Oh, I cut out carbs and I don't eat pasta. So the number one food, especially for those with kids, may want to consider swapping out is your pasta. I just had a notification come up. I don't know what that means, but my screen went weird. I don't know many families who don't have the staple spaghetti night in the weekly rotation or use that meal as a quick go-to for busy, long days. I know I for sure always have pasta and spaghetti sauce, and we stock ground beef and turkey and ground chicken in the freezer because it is a meal that comes together super quickly. You can thaw meat quickly, pasta boils quickly, and it's a good backup just to kind of always have on hand. It makes sense. It's cheap, it's quick, and it's delicious. While eating carbohydrates like pasta in its many forms is not necessarily holding you back from reaching your goals, but if you add in a few simple swaps, that can help you better manage your carbohydrate load, not to mention your blood sugar management, and increase your vegetable consumption without even realizing it. One substitution or swap out you can make for your pasta is spaghetti squash. This is a great nutrient dense food, which means that it's low in calories, but it's an excellent source of many nutrients such as fiber, vitamin C, manganese, and B vitamins. 1 cup or about 100 grams of squash is only about 31 calories, and that's about like a handful. There's multiple ways to prepare this, but we recommend baking it in the oven with olive oil, salt, and pepper at 400 degrees for about 30 to 40 minutes, or until it's kind of lightly brown on the outside and the little strands are tender on the inside. Also to note with that is you have to cut it open first. And if you've never cut a spaghetti squash before, you're going to have to use your muscles because it's really hard. But another tip is to stick it in the microwave. I don't know, for a couple of seconds to kind of soften it. And then it's a little bit easier to cut. And so then you cut it and you have to scrape out the seeds and then flip it upside down and bake it. And it's really good. And kids think it's fascinating too, because they see this solid squash thing and then magically in 45 minutes, it's noodles and they like to pull them out. It's fun. If you're looking for a faster way to cook it, you can also cook it in an Instant Pot or even in your crock pot, but an Instant Pot would be about 7 minutes on high pressure, but make sure you put a cup of water in the bottom so that it doesn't scorch or give you that burn notice. Another swap is zoodles, just zucchini noodles. Also a fun thing to do with your kids, especially if you have one of those like spiralizers and you do it yourself. Will dramatically minimize the carbs that you're having on your pasta nights. About 1 cup or 118 grams of zoodles is only 20 calories. This means you add more volume for very few calories. And another benefit to zoodles is that you're adding more nutrients, of course, because it's a vegetable, and they're high in folate, potassium, and vitamin A. And due to the fact that potassium is in zucchini, that will also help reduce your blood pressure and possible risk of heart disease. So that's a good reason to eat zoodles. It's super easy. You'll likely want to do them yourself with that spiralizer that I mentioned. You can find them frozen and sometimes fresh at like the little Walmarts. But the frozen ones is just a solid ball of ice and zucchini noodles. And so when you try to steam it or what have you, they are very soggy. And I have not actually tried the zucchini noodles that are in the like fresh section, just because they've never had them when I'm going to be able to use them that week. So I always mine on a spiralizer. But once you have it spiralized, you just kind of heat it up in a skillet with a little bit of olive oil until it's whatever, kind of consistency you want, however soft you want it. Another substitution for pasta nights might be hearts of palm pasta. You can find these in most grocery stores now. They make a great substitute because it adds volume and nutrients. And again, fewer carbohydrates, less blood sugar spiking. For about 100 grams, you get only 20 calories and you get 3 grams of fiber. And if you were using regular pasta, I didn't mention this before, but 100 grams of pasta would be 149 calories. So dramatic difference in all of these options. Every brand will have its own instructions, and it's as simple as throwing it into a pot of hot boiling water until it's tender. Basically, you cook it the same way you cook pasta. It's easy, it's delicious, definitely mimicking traditional pasta. And you can find different varieties like linguine or angel hair or even lasagna noodles. I have not seen those actually around here though. Have you? Well, Dina can't talk. Put it in the chat. I'm going to have no voice by the end of the day after I've talked. Wait, I can hear you. We just didn't start early enough. I don't know. Magic. Okay, yay. Welcome to the program, Dina. You can take on fried snacks.
Tip no, you go ahead because I don't have my.
You can't see your notes. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll keep talking.
I'll chime in.
Okay. Next up, yeah, if you have any tips, have you tried Hearts of Palm pasta?
No, I have not, but I like the steamable packs of the spaghetti squash, which are it's kind of hard to find nowadays, but that's my favorite. And I even wanted to say, like, you can even go like half and half, like half pasta, yes. Half. You don't have to.
And there are, aside from the Hearts of Palm pasta, there's other pastas too. Like there's protein ones, so you can still make a better choice than just the regular old, pasta noodles. There's ones that are made out of like chickpeas and lentils and stuff, so you're getting a little bit of protein.
Even the whole wheat one is good. And honestly, my kids don't even know the difference. So
yeah, you want to look for high fiber. And if you can get some protein in there, always try to get protein. Okay, so let's talk about fried snacks and chips. A lot of people, that's their go-to for their carbs. A typical serving of traditional potato chips is about 150 to 200 calories and upwards of 10 grams of fat. But here's the thing. How many people count out their potato chips? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to only 10 or 15 when they're eating them? Not very many.
Tiny amount.
I know most people are like eating directly out of the bag or they're pouring them in a bowl, which I guess is a little bit of portion control, but still probably double or triple what that serving size is. So you're probably eating something more like 300 to 600 calories when you're eating potato chips. A study at Harvard University revealed that consumption of potato chips is strongly linked to weight gain and obesity. But remember, restriction is not the answer, because if you cut them out completely, you're going to feel deprived and you're going to be like the 2-year-old in the corner throwing a fit that you want it. And then you're going to eat it and you're probably going to binge eat it. And then you're going to feel terrible about it. And then you're going to be depressed. And it's just a vicious cycle. So instead of eliminating a salty, crunchy go-to, consider swapping them out for some of these options. Like homemade sweet potato chips. You can also buy sweet potato chips that have minimal ingredients and they're not terrible. But you can make them in the oven or in an air fryer. You just need sweet potatoes, some olive oil, and some salt, and a fun project to make with your kids too in the air fryer. A mandolin would be super helpful so that you can get those sweet potatoes as thin as possible without cutting your fingers off with a knife. And they're even when you cut with one of those things. Sweet potatoes are high in fiber, antioxidants, and beta carotene. That's why they're orange, which support healthy eyes and a strong immune system. And then also homemade kale chips. I love these. And you haven't tried them? I love them. They kind of remind me of like popcorn because they're,
I don't like kale though.
I don't like kale either, but I like kale chips. They don't taste like kale. They just kind of taste like air. That's why they remind me of popcorn, because there's not really a whole lot of like
crunchy
taste to it other than the crunch and like the saltiness. But a fun alternative, and they're packed with nutrients, 5 grams of fiber in a serving. They have vitamins A, K, and C, also folate and manganese. Manganese, I don't really know a whole lot about it, but it plays a vital role in your blood sugar regulation, as well as carbohydrate and fat metabolism. Like blood sugar regulation is a trending thing right now with everybody using the continuous glucose I'm saying that backwards. Continuous blood glucose monitors.
It's a big topic in our June stuff that's going to go out.
A lot. Because maintaining that is super important. I listened to another I need to send you that podcast that I listened to too about regulating blood sugar and how important it is. Blah, blah, blah. I lost my place. Okay, so here's how you make it. About 3 large cups of kale, and you want to trim that big, like stalky part off, and then drizzle it with like 3 teaspoons of olive oil, half a teaspoon of salt, and like shake it up, and then spread it out super thin on a baking sheet and put it in the oven at about 350 for like 15 to 18 minutes, just kind of watching it until it's crunchy and kind of charred. It's good.
This is my option.
Yeah, I like
of the
these. Yeah,
three.
buy it. Right. So if you're looking for a quick swap that doesn't require cooking, consider choosing baked options over traditional fried options. Before grabbing any chip bag with the word baked on it, look at the nutrition label. Look for options that are higher in fiber and protein, but also lower in saturated fat and sodium. Bare veggie chips, lentil based, already made for you veggie chips, and even popcorn chips may be better options than your traditional fried chip option. These options may be better aligned with your health and wellness goals. We should still stay mindful about the portion size that we consume. So like these are those little like individual serving size bags. So those are good for portion control for sure, and still crunchy. Also like the apple chips that Bear makes and banana chips. I'm not a savory person. I'm a sweet person. So this next one,
But
this next one is for me.
I don't discriminate. I don't discriminate, but I do buy baked chips more often just because I don't want to feel restricted.
Yeah.
But I'm all about the crunch. So I eat a lot of sandwiches, you know, like on the go, pack them and go, and
hmm
it's carrots. I'll pack carrots just
hmm
for the crunch. But
Yep. Carrots and celery are a good, I guess, what is that, like a texture trigger so that you're still like satisfied with the crunch?
Yep.
Sure. All right. After a long day or a week, how many of us need some ice cream to enjoy? This used to be my biggest thing, was to have a bowl of ice cream every single night. That's what got me into my trouble. Ice cream is always a comfort food staple, but it may not leave you feeling your best. That's because traditional ice creams are typically higher in calories, sugar, and the calories are coming from fat as well. So it's high in fat. A regular serving of premium or specialty ice cream is about 210 calories with 13 grams of fat and 19 grams of sugar. So almost your whole day's worth of sugar in one serving. And again, how many of us are actually honest when we're having a serving of ice cream and keeping it to that like half of a scoop or half of a cup? It's a half a cup is tiny. So some
you think
options.
it is though, like when you really, like if you really pay attention to it, you're like, I'm just gonna have one serving. It really is sometimes.
Yeah. Yeah. So an option is to make nice cream. That's a homemade option. And it's simply just taking frozen bananas and blending them in the blender or food processor until they're creamy like ice cream. And then you can personalize it by adding fruits or flavors like vanilla extract or even like nut butters, or even some like chunky things like nuts. So really, really, really good. I used to do that a whole lot because, like I said, I was an ice cream addict at night. So I switched to that and made a big difference.
You can
Um,
even take like your protein shakes. If you
mhm,
get like the crushed ice to liquid ratio just right and you blend it up in a good blender,
mhm.
almost ice cream consistency. It's so good.
Yes, yummy. And then I switched to like casein pudding at night for a while.
That's
That's
on
good
here.
too.
We talk about that in a minute.
So nice cream is fun to make, and your kids might enjoy that too because they can customize it to what they want. And it really doesn't taste as much like bananas as you think it would, especially if you blend it with good things. So for those of us that don't have time or don't want to spend time in the kitchen to make these things, an easy option that you can find at your local grocery store in their freezer section are the Yasso bars. And these are super good.
They are
They're
my favorite.
they're so good. My kids like them too. And Charlotte is picky because she's an ice cream connoisseur as well. Yasso bars are just Greek yogurt based ice cream alternatives, but you would never know it when you taste them. They're creamy and they're sweet, but they're only about 100 calories per package, 5 grams of protein in them, and only 12 grams of added sugar. Compared to 19 that we talked about in regular ice cream. A lot of flavors. I've tried that sea salt caramel and it is super good. And there's one on here that Charlotte likes, but I can't think of what it is.
Those little sandwiches are
Mhm.
taste just like, you know, the little wafers
An
sandwiches.
ice cream sandwich.
But
I
and you
haven't
can
seen those
only
little
find certain
poppables. Those are
flavors.
good too.
Do what?
Have you tried those?
Which ones?
The poppables, those little
I
individual ones?
can't find them. You can only find Target has a better variety.
Okay. Yeah, I've never seen those, but that's a great little option if you just want like a little taste of something.
I
Didn't
want
know they made those. Oh boy. Number 4, candy.
to.
I'm not a big candy person. I only like chocolate candy, soft candy. I don't like hard candy or sticky candy. So this one's not tough for me. But did you know that the average American consumes about 8 pounds of candy per year? Candy is great to celebrate different occasions like holidays and birthdays, but it should definitely be something that we eat in moderation. And if you or your family are reaching for candy more often than not, let's try some of these swaps. Fruit. It's known as nature's candy. Unlike candy, fruits are usually low in calories and they're high in fiber. Eating more fresh fruit provides your body with vitamins and minerals to help you feel energized and healthy. If you haven't tried the fruit swap, but haven't felt it true, or if you have tried it, but you don't feel like it curbs your sweet tooth, try to eat the fruit balanced with a protein and a fat. That way you're kind of feeling more satiated with the protein and fat, because we all know that balance is important. If you've watched these in the past, that's all we tell you is to eat balanced, right? And keep trying it, because according to research, you have to try something 15 times before you know if you like it or not. So keep working at it. And the more you cut sugar out of your diet, the less or the more sweet, like real food starts to taste. So
Yeah.
you have to give it some time. Another swap, and also chocolate here. We just talked about chocolate. Switch out milk chocolate and white chocolate for dark chocolate. So the harder the chocolate, the less terrible it is for you. Chocolate is made from cocoa beans, which is where the idea of chocolate being a healthy food comes from, right? It's a vegetable, came from a bean. Cocoa beans are high in flavonoids, which are antioxidants that fight cell damage in the body. Flavonoids have been known or have been shown to control cholesterol, lower blood pressure, and reduce the risk of blood clots. So why dark chocolate over milk or white? Dark chocolate has more cocoa beans, as it is the least processed of all the chocolate variations. So the darker it is, the higher percent of cocoa beans that are in the chocolate. So you're getting more of those antioxidants and the healthy things in it. So we recommend, like, you can look at the back of your chocolate, or some of them have it on the front, of what percent of dark chocolate is in it. And you want to choose ones that have between 70 and 85% dark chocolate. But remember to be mindful of portion size. So be looking at that nutrition label as well. And here's my favorite sub, casein pudding. This is helpful if you're someone who gets a sweet tooth after dinner. Casein pudding is made with a casein powder supplement that has many benefits. Casein is slow digesting, so it's best taken before bedtime. Also, so it's good for those people who may wake up in the middle of the night hungry or feel hungry before they go to bed, like if you eat dinner super early. The slow release of amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein, aid in recovery. They boost muscle growth and help improve your sleep quality, and may aid in weight loss, probably because you're eating it instead of ice cream. But to make casein pudding to enjoy after dinner, you just need 1 scoop. And we sell Ascent protein here at the gym if you ever want to come check it out. And maybe about 5 ounces. I've never measured mine. I just kind of pour my almond milk in until it's the consistency that I want it to be. So just simply those 2 ingredients, and mix it together with a hand whisk, or you can even do it with your hand, and let it sit in the fridge to thicken up for about 5 or 10 minutes. If you
I've
can
never
wait that
tried
long.
the chocolate almond milk.
I haven't tried the chocolate almond milk. Well, I have, but I've never put it in my casein. I use the chocolate or the chocolate peanut butter casein and mix it with vanilla almond milk. But I bet if you use the chocolate, it would taste really good. But the chocolate almond milk has more calories and carbs in it than it does, because I don't think there's an unsweetened version of it.
I don't know.
Or if there is, I haven't noticed it or paid attention to
I have to
that.
go to Walmart in a bit.
Check it out. Let us know.
You
All
determine.
right, last thing is soda, because we all crave a soda every now and then, until you take it out completely and you go to sip it at the movie theater and it hurts your throat because you're not used to carbonation or the sugar. Studies have
Hate how
found
they
that,
make it where you want stuff like that. Like they do the little, like you can hear it being poured and stuff.
yes, yeah, it's the only place that I ever drink a soda anymore. And if I accidentally, like, we've been somewhere to eat, you know, like, and I pick up somebody's cup to like take a sip and I think it's my water, like, kills me.
It tastes real chemically since I've cut it out, and like I'll take some and it's like it's It's not even good.
Yeah, very. So studies have found that in the United States, sugar sweetened beverages such as traditional sodas are the largest source of added sugar. So let's try to put that into context. I want you to imagine grabbing like 7 to 10 cubes or teaspoons of sugar, like those little, like what they give horses, or if you have a fancy tea party, use those little sugar cubes and stirring that into a large glass of water. That would be so sweet. But that's how much sugar is in one can of soda, 7 to 10 cubes of sugar. It's a lot. I mean, if you're looking at how tall a can is and like 7 to 10 of those, like the majority of the can is sugar. Studies have found a strong link between soda consumption and increased weight. A specific study found that each additional 12-ounce soda that a child consumed each day increased the odds of the child becoming obese by 60%. That's crazy.
It makes me
I know
sad.
growing up, like we had sodas in our house, and I probably certainly drank more than one a day on occasion. So that's
We never thought twice about it because we didn't
no,
know any
no,
better.
had no thoughts. But definitely, if you're trying to limit your sugar and you do drink sodas, that's a great place to start. So let's talk about some alternatives. What can we do instead of drinking the cans of sodas? Water should definitely be your first choice of beverage. But for a lot of us, it comes down to taste, and water just doesn't taste good to a lot of people. Or maybe it even tastes funny depending on like where you are and where your water's coming from, or even like sometimes restaurant water is weird. So consider adding flavors with like fruits and herbs, or even some zero sugar, 0 calorie solutions like the Mio or Mayo, however you say that, the little squirty things. Or I also like Nuun, Nuun, to add to my water to get some electrolytes in. But we all should be consuming about 60 to 80 ounces of water every day. But remember to start slow, because if not, you're going to take a lot of bathroom trips. But there's a lot of good ideas in this screen here, like lemon, or even lemon juice, strawberries, blueberries are good, mint, oranges, raspberry. I mean, whatever you like, put in there. And then there are a lot of sugar-free soda alternatives. And there's probably new ones coming out all the time because there's just a ton of them. That row at the grocery store has gotten really big. Some of them are more carbonated than others. Some carbonated ones are like LaCroix or Waterloo. And then soda replacements like Zevia, they were sampling those at Sam's last week. And so Charlotte and I were trying them all, and they're not terrible. They are sweetened with stevia. So some people's I guess your palate or whatever is a little more sensitive to that stevia aftertaste. But if you can get past that, they were pretty good. I think I tried the root beer one, and maybe there was like a cherry something or another. I like cherry flavored drinks like that or whatever, like cherry vanilla or what have you, something like that. And I think Charlotte tried the Sprite one and she thought it was really good. But she noticed the aftertaste too, but I mean, you can get used to it. Also even just like carbonated water, like the I don't know how you say the fancy green bottles, but those are super good too, because
That is a
sometimes
fancy bottle of water.
yeah. There's some other choices too. I'm trying to think of ones that we like. That bubbly brand, I like their cherry. They have a cola flavored one that's pretty good too. And lemon cello LaCroix is my absolute favorite.
Ooh, I haven't seen that one.
It's super good, really, really yummy. I
I
mean, it tastes
haven't.
like lemon water, but it's really, really good. I like it. Okay, let's talk about the HSN principles as you're kind of writing out your notes. Let me go right now and put in this chat box the link for this workbook. Just pause with me for a moment because I will forget to do this later. Not that link. Wrong page. At least y'all can't see my whole screen right now because it's there's so many things on here. So many. That's how I work. I think something I was watching last week. I need this whole thing. Oh my gosh. Copy.
So if you've never signed up for one of these before, you get like a little worksheet to kind of write your goals on and kind of write the high points of these talks and little takeaways. And that's what she's going to be adding here.
Okay. Link is there in the chat box, so you can go back and look at that. Now I have to get back to my, all these Zoom boxes are in the way. I got to find them back. Look, that wasn't too bad. Quick little detour. But as you're writing out your notes for healthy swaps, make sure that you take some time to write down your goals. And then we'll talk about these 3 core principles that have changed the lives of people all around the world. And these are just simple little steps to take one at a time, focusing on one thing at a time. But let's talk about number 1, focus on whole foods first. And then this quote right here, eat meat and vegetables, nuts and seeds, some fruit, little starch and no sugar. That's a super old quote from Greg Glassman, who used to be the CrossFit guy. Just super simple. And that's what we want to focus on. You want to start choosing whole food options, less processed foods, which means all less food from the center of the grocery store. Because those foods are packed with sodium, fat, and sugar. Don't pay attention to all the labels on the front of all the packaged food, because they're just tricks that the marketing industry is using to try to get you to buy them. If it says it's low in fat, that means it's high in carbs. If it says it's low in carbs, that means it's high in fat or sugar. It's just deception in the marketing. A simple way to start is by reshaping your plate using the plate method. And focusing on a balance of macronutrients. When we say balance, we mean, does every meal and snack that you eat throughout the day contain carbs and protein and fat? Pairing each meal and snack with all 3 of these macronutrients help keep you fuller longer. Most people feel their best when they're fueling their busy days and activity with about 40% carbohydrates, 30% fat, and 30% protein. And individual, you may kind of adjust that or what have you, but if you're following the plate method, I think I skipped right over that and didn't even talk about what it is, but half a plate of vegetables and a quarter of your plate lean protein and a quarter of your plate carbohydrates. And that kind of magically gives you that 40, 30, 30 breakdown. And then of course, limiting the number of processed carbs and sugar, because the American Heart Association recommends no more than 6 teaspoons, or about 24 grams for women and 9 for men. So that's a soda.
Yeah.
It's crazy. The average person consumes over 150 pounds of sugar per year. It's 46 teaspoons a day. Well over what's recommended by the American Heart Association. So it's not surprising. Sugar is super addicting, and it feels like it's hidden in almost every food or product that you find if it's in a package. So any questions? I think Monica's the only one on here live. I lost my box.
I think she hopped off.
Okay. So if there's not any questions, then I'm just going to go over these though, because it'll record. I am recording, right?
Yeah.
So if you want something like ice cream or candy or pasta, don't want to make a swap. What if I want to swap something like ice cream, but you don't want to swap it with an alternative? Well, remember, the goal is to find what we can add in rather than restrict. If you want ice cream or to enjoy a family spaghetti night without a swap, then you should. Just remember to stay mindful of your portion size so you aren't over consuming, which could push you away from your health and wellness goals. In other words, have the treat and move on. Have the ice cream and move on. Have the spaghetti night, move on.
If you want the ice cream, have it, but what is the one thing that it's missing?
Yeah, protein.
Protein. So
yeah. Eat your boiled egg or your chicken strip with it.
Yeah, you can make a milkshake.
You could. You could. Yep. You could add protein powder to it. A great way to stay mindful of portions is to ensure you're eating well-balanced meals and snacks throughout the day with plenty of water, so you aren't entering meals or snacks overly hungry. That's a super good tip too. A lot of people, I feel like, try to save up, calories for something later in the day. And so then by the time they get to that meal or that treat, they wind up overindulging because they're starving. Yeah. And because then the meal is probably missing the other parts. Like you said, it's missing protein, or it's missing vegetables or something like that. So here's a question that I get all the time. What if I don't like veggies? And I've heard it so many times in so many different ways. Maybe you feel this way too. That's okay. Some people don't like vegetables, but my question back is always, what if you just haven't found the way that you like them? Because I think for a lot of us, we only think about I don't know, whatever vegetable that we don't like, the way that our moms cooked it for us, a long time ago, like boiled Brussels sprouts or something like that. And I didn't ever even eat Brussels sprouts when I was a kid because I just didn't like the way it looked or felt or smelled, all of the things. So I don't think I ever tried them. But it's one of my favorite foods now because I've seen so many recipes for roasting it.
Mhm.
And I was like, well, that looks really good because I like roasted broccoli. And so I tried that and I love it. And that's my advice to anybody. Whatever you have tried, try it roasted because it brings out a totally different texture and flavor than boiling, baking, sauteing, all of those kinds of things. Roasting your vegetables gives a nice crunch rather than mushy vegetables. And you can add in, there's a really weird noise here. Add in good seasoning for whatever kind of flavors that you like. And also air frying too has become a popular way to cook vegetables in a totally different texture and flavor as well, and fast. All right, so now one other question is, where should you start? It's a great question. If you want to start with one thing at a time, you'll be 80% more successful to maintain that one thing. When you add in trying to focus on two things, you'll only be 30% successful. And if you try to juggle 3 new things at a time, you'll probably only be about 5% successful. So definitely pick one thing that we talked about today and focus on starting there. I don't know why I stuck these here, probably because I wasn't finished with where I wanted to put them, but check out these superstars. These are our friends that did a nutrition challenge and had great results. These are some HSN success stories. Like I said earlier, 45,000 people who have participated in some way or another with Healthy Steps Nutrition and seen results. These are some more of our people and their great success. Something else you can kind of add into your day if you drive a lot or if you just like to listen to podcasts. There's a Nutrition Made Simple podcast that our dietitian, Nicola Quinn, releases every now and then. There's some great topics out there, and I share them regularly too sometimes. So keep a lookout. If you're looking for help, like one-on-one, you're welcome to apply for nutrition coaching. You can scan that QR code there, and it will take you to a link to book a free intro with one of our nutrition coaches. We can always take new people right now, and you'll just click the link and schedule a free intro. And then we have a couple of different ways that you can get started with coaching. So we can talk about those then. Okay. The unsilent
We
cleaning.
overcome our technical difficulties.
We did, and we still kept it at about 45 minutes, even starting late and having technical difficulties. So not too bad. So we'll see you in about 4 weeks.
Yep.
What's our nutrition talk on next month?
Gut health.
Ooh, yes, I saw that. That's a
Yeah.
hot topic too. I see that.
There's a
all
lot of stuff
the
next month.
time.
Gut health and blood sugar and good stuff. Good stuff.
We're going to get healthy next month, healthier than we are today. That's the thing. It's just a journey. Everybody's just taking one step forward. We're just all at a different part in our journey.
1% better every day.
That's it. Yep. Always thinking about whether the decision you're going to make is helpful or harmful. If it's going to help you on your journey or if it's going to hinder your journey. So those are good things to think about. So I will get this downloaded and sent to the people that registered. And then we're still in waiting on our blog to go up. So it won't be on the blog for who knows how long. Never gets there. I probably need to start taking notes of which ones we've done since our website changed. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna try to figure out how to get back to Zoom. So, okay, I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Oh, there it comes. Okay. And then I think I'm just gonna end this call.
Turn the recording on.
Yes, I think it'll naturally go off. Bye.
Bye.
Thursday.